141 members of parliament, all of them from the opposition, have been suspended. I'm Barkha Dutt, you're with the Mojo Story. Our big focus today is on the mass suspensions in parliament. 141 and counting. The opposition is protesting, but the Prime Minister, while meeting with members of parliament of his own party, has said that the opposition is merely rattled. He's also accused the opposition or certain opposition members of using a language that virtually justifies the recent parliament breach. Remember, this latest confrontation between the government and the opposition has taken place because opposition members of parliament have demanded that the Home Minister and the Prime Minister speak inside and from the floor of both houses instead of outside and to the media on the breach that has taken place. Prominent members of parliament suspended today include Shashi Tharoor, Farooq Abdullah and Supriya Sule. A controversy has also broken out after Trinamool Congress member of parliament Kalyan Banerjee mimicked Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar. The BJP sprang to Mr. Dhankar's defense and said that the opposition had insulted a constitutional post. Where does this all end? The opposition is saying bills are being passed without a diverse point of view being allowed to even enter the parliamentary debate. Let's introduce our panel today as we look at this big political story. Joining us on the program today from the Trinamool Congress is its spokesperson Riju Datta. Namaskar Riju, good to see you. Also joining us from the Congress is Manikam Tagore. Manikam Tagore is one of the Congress members of parliament who has been suspended. Namaskar Manikam and welcome to the program. Joining us from the BJP is its leader and spokesperson Ashwini Shahi. Namaskar Ashwini ji, thank you for being with us. And also joining us is political analyst Anurag Naidu, typically a supporter of the government. Does he agree with the government on this issue? We will find out in just a moment. Let me actually start with one of the things that became a major controversy today. Kalyan Banerjee of the Trinamool Congress mimicking Jagdeep Dhankar being filmed by Rahul Gandhi. We'll play out this clip for you and then get first comments. Take a look.
What's understand? My spine is so straight. You, Mr. Gandhi, you must understand. Lok Sabha. You must understand that I have been appointed here only to say Narendra Modi. I understand it. My spine is very straight, very straight.
मैंने कुछ देर पहले एक टीवी चैनल पर देखा है, गिरावट की कोई हद नहीं है, गिरावट की कोई हद नहीं है। मैं तो यही कह सकता हूं, सद्बुद्धि आए, कुछ तो सीमा होती होगी। Imagine what must be going through my heart when your senior leader videographs a member parliament mocking the institution of chairman. As an individual, take on me. Don't take on my background as a farmer. Don't take it background as a community member. Institution of chairman has been ravaged, and that too by a political party that has gone for so long. A member parliament, senior one, videographing of another member. For what? I had suffered, I tell you, on Instagram. Mr. Chidambaram, your party put a video which was withdrawn later on. That was shame to me. You used Twitter, official handle of the spokesperson, to demean me, insult my background as a farmer, insult my position as a jat, insult my position as chairman. Sir, these are two serious issues.
Mr. Dhankar, the Vice President, says the institution of the chairman has been ravaged. The opposition says it's the institution of parliament that has been ravaged. Let me actually start with Riju Datta, because it was your member of parliament who was mimicking Mr. Dhankar. How do you respond to the criticism that this was in poor taste? This has deflected the headlines from suspensions. The story has become something else. Do you stand by what Mr. Kalyan Banerjee was doing? Do you think it's in the focus? Do you think it was avoidable?
Balkaji, first of all, there's a saying that imitation is the best form of flattery. So I think the Honorable Chairman should have taken it on a lighter note. Secondly, before becoming the Chairman of Rajya Sabha, the particular gentleman was the Governor of West Bengal. So we are very well accustomed to his stunts and tricks and his demeanor. We know what he can do and what he cannot do. Bottom line is, the Lok Sabha speaker has failed as the custodian of the Lok Sabha to keep his MPs secured. The chairman of the Rajya Sabha, instead of taking the opposition in confidence, all he has done is suspended all the opposition MPs. And thirdly, this new parliament has become a graveyard of democracy. Where is the democracy, Barkha ji? You tell me. You have covered from wars in Gaza to, deaths and wars in Manipur. Do you think there is democracy in this country? This Modi's new India of 2023 very closely resembles 1930s Germany. Where is the democracy? If a media channel talks against BJP, they will be gagged. If an MP asks a pertinent question, they will be suspended or thrown out. Somebody for sharing a login and password will be expelled from the parliament when there is no rule formulating that. But the MP who issued terrorist a pass will still happily sit in the parliament. This is the new India that this government talks about. But what they do not realize, that the house belongs to the opposition, and the parliament, which is the so-called temple of democracy, without the opposition is nothing more than a BJP party office. So they should understand what they're doing. And I believe what Kalyan Banerjee did on the steps of the parliament was on a very lighter note. And the chairman, rather than playing the victim card by using words like I'm a farmer, by playing the community card, I am a Jat and whatnot, he should respect the chair which he is sitting on and take it on a lighter note.
Okay, let me bring in at this moment Ashwini Shahi. Riju Datta made a comment कि अगर opposition नहीं है parliament में तो BJP party office और parliament में क्या फर्क है? इसका जरा जवाब दें, क्योंकि opposition ने मांग क्या की है? The opposition has only demanded, अश्विनी जी, कि जो recent parliament security breach हुई है उस पे आके प्रधानमंत्री और गृह मंत्री बोले. इस डिमांड में क्या नाजायज है कि सरकार उनको सस्पेंड करे?
बरखा जी, देखिए, रिजू जी ने जो कहा कि बीजेपी दफ्तर और उसमें अंतर नहीं है, ये लोग अपने आचरण से उसको बीजेपी दफ्तर बना रहे हैं. जनता ने आज सबसे बड़ी पार्टी, जो सबसे पुरानी पार्टी है, 2 चुनाव 19 और 14 के चुनाव में लोकसभा में नेता के लायक नहीं छोड़ा है. कांग्रेस जो सबसे बड़ी पार्टी, सबसे पुरानी पार्टी है, तो ये आचरण दिख रहा है. देखिए, कल्याण बनर्जी जी इतने सीनियर लीडर, और आज क्या वो विदूषक की तरह जो है कूद रहे हैं. और राहुल गांधी जी इतनी बड़ी पुरानी पार्टी जिसका दम भरते हैं, वो खड़े होकर वहां पर जो है उसका वीडियो बनाते हैं. इतनी हल्की चीज, और रिजू जी कह रहे हैं लाइटर नोट में लेना चाहिए. हर बात को लाइटर नोट में. इन्होंने कहा कि एक जो है महिला एमपी ने सिर्फ पासवर्ड दे दिया. सिर्फ पासवर्ड दे दिया, बरखा जी, ये बहुत लाइटर नोट में बोल रहे हैं. ये भी क्यों संविधान की शपथ लेते हैं लोग? लोकसभा में जाने के बाद एक लोकसभा का एमपी, राज्यसभा का एमपी, मंत्री की बात छोड़िए, सब लोग संविधान की और अपने हिंदुस्तान की कसम खाते हैं पासवर्ड बांटने के लिए, देश की सुरक्षा के साथ खिलवाड़ करने के लिए. और आज किस तरीके से विपक्ष खड़ा है, एक आतंकवादी घटना का बचाव कर रहा है कि बेरोजगारी है, इसके वजह से वो हो रहा है. और सदन में क्या नेता की ही बात सुनी जाएगी? उपनेता बोलने लायक नहीं है. माननीय राजनाथ जी ने जो कहा उसको नहीं मान सकते ये लोग? राजनाथ जी को क्यों नहीं मानते हैं ये लोग? इन लोगों को सिर्फ चाहिए, आज ये स्थिति हो गई बरखा जी कि आज स्थितियां एकदम इन लोगों के विपरीत हो गई हैं. जनता इनके खिलाफ हो चुकी है. ये लोग सड़क पर ऐसे ही कूदकर बंगाल, बिहार, उत्तर प्रदेश में जो मदारी का खेल होता है, जमूरे का खेल होता है, वही ये दिखाने के लायक और काबिल है लोग. देश की जनता ने यह तय किया है कि मोदी जी को ही एक बेहतर नेतृत्व के रूप में हम वहां रखेंगे, और वो रख रही है, क्योंकि इन लोगों का जो आचरण दिन पर दिन दिख रहा है. अब बताइए, सदन बना हुआ है मेज पर चढ़कर वेल में जाने के लिए. सबसे बड़ा अनुशासन का जो बिगड़ा हुआ नमूना देखने को मिला वो सदन में मिला. अपने सदन के जो एक कम से कम कोई भी मेंबर बरखा जी 18 लाख 20 लाख लोगों की नुमाइंदगी करता है, और वो अपने मुद्दे नहीं उठा रहा है. वहां जाने के बाद कोई मेज पर खड़ा होता है, कोई बेल में जो तख्ती लेकर खड़ा होता है. ये अनुशासनहीनता बर्दाश्त नहीं की जाएगी. देखिए, सरकारें आएंगी जाएंगी, अटल जी ने कहा था, लेकिन सबके लिए वो आचरण होना चाहिए और उसका एक मिसाल पेश करनी चाहिए. इन लोगों ने उसकी कसम खा ली है कि हम आचरण ठीक नहीं करेंगे, तो यही होता रहेगा. ये लोग बाहर रहें, तो उसको बीजेपी दफ्तर समझे या सदन समझे.
Okay, let me bring in. I know, Riju, you have your hand up, but I want to just give everybody a first comment. Manikam Tagore, let's come to one question raised by Ashwini Shahi of the BJP. Why was Rajnath Singh's statement, why was the statement of the Parliamentary Affairs Minister not enough? Secondly, the Prime Minister met with BJP MPs today, and at this meeting, he said that those who are demanding a discussion on the Parliament breach actually justified. This is what the Prime Minister said. They actually justified the breach by linking it to unemployment. His reference was clearly to Rahul Gandhi's comment on the security breach. How do you respond to this comment from the Prime Minister, Manikam Tagore, as having been one of the members of Parliament suspended yourself? And please unmute yourself before you respond. Go ahead. Manikam?
Yeah, from December 4th, the Parliament, for the winter session, when we reconvened, till 13th of December, more than 10 days of the working days of Parliament, Parliament functioned in an organized pattern. There was question hour, there was 0 hour, there was 370, even 379 was read out, and bills being discussed also. Except when Mawa Mitra's case came up, and when we objected to it, the way they are bulldozing for a password thing, and others, ethics committees, misuse of the ethics committee. After that also, we participated. 13th, when the parliamentary security breach happened, what we were asking, on that day we were asking that the Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, must come to the Parliament and make a statement. If Mr. Amit Shah would have come on that day evening itself, the thing would have been over by that time. Next day, I had given a motion on 4. Because why? Because Delhi police reports to Mr. Amit Shah. Delhi police only physically checks any person who enters into the Parliament. Physical checking is done by the Delhi police, not by this parliamentary security group. Therefore, we should understand that. Therefore, we wanted a statement from Mr. Amit Shah. We were not asking for resignation of Mr. Amit Shah. We were not asking that Amit Shah should put down his papers. And we were not saying that Amit Shah has failed in his as Home Minister. We were asking for a statement. In 2000, whenever this kind of incidents happen, you are a senior journalist, you've been covering Parliament for many long years. Whenever this kind of incidents happens, any kind of bomb blast or any kind of things in across and others, usually the Home Minister will come to the House and make a statement. So what is statement? It's a fact which are all happening, which are all known in the public domain, is told to the House. That's the format. Investigation thing, they won't disclose it. They will say that we will come back. It is a preliminary investigations are going. With that preliminary information, we are making a statement. The MPs were asking for a statement from Home Minister. Say they are so arrogant and adamant. They were not making a statement to us, but they went to a private channel in a star hotel where they were having an event, and he was making a statement there about this parliamentary breach. We need to understand that this parliamentary breach, my friend, the BJP friend, was telling about the Suraksha, all big words in Hindi. I can tell you only one thing: the security. Don't
but
play
Mr.
with the
Modi
security.
says, Manikam, sorry to interrupt you, but the
BJP
Prime Minister says that Rahul Gandhi justified this breach or justified the actions of the men who did it.
No, let me complete it. I'll come to Prime Minister's words, because Prime Minister inner party, whatever he speaks, then I'll come in. Because in that, the parliamentary breach was facilitated by the BJP MP, Pratap Sinha. They are speaking about national security. They are saying about that national security, Suraksha bahut bada cheez hai. What is the action on that Pratap Sinha has been taken? Whether he has been suspended? Whether the Delhi police has called him for giving that pass? If I would have given the pass, what the Delhi police would have done? What Amit Shah's police would have done to me, Or if the Muslim League MP from Tamil Nadu, Nawaz Kani would have done it, what they would have done it? This is the problem here. They are not ready to understand that the mistake the BJP MP has done it, and they want to divert it. Now come to Prime Minister's words. Prime Minister in a closed door meeting has spoken. Therefore, it is not out in public. Closed door meetings, anything can be spoken, and everybody has a right. In my party also, we have a CPP meeting tomorrow, and we will speak whatever we would like to speak it. But in that meeting also, Mr. Prime Minister Modi always is expert in diverting. He is expert in diverting, and Mr. Rahul Gandhi has told very clearly. He told that the parliamentary breach is a very the right language means the parliamentary security breach is a which has happened, which is a disturbing thing. But these issues happens because of unemployment and price rise. What is wrong in it? Those people who had been caught by you, by the police, are giving that statement. The family who had voted for BJP are giving that statement. UAPA, you had put UAPA on him. What about who has facilitated? That fellow, my colleague
Okay.
Sima, he should have been given a UAP. He should have been a A1 then, because he has facilitated the entry into the parliament. Why this double standard? I can't understand it. National Suraksha, then Suraksha won't work for BJP people.
Okay, let me bring in Anurag Naidu at this point. Anurag, the point is that the opposition has only asked for the Prime Minister or the Home Minister to speak in Parliament. It is not some outlandish demand. For it to lead to 141 members of Parliament and counting to be suspended, this is going to make Parliament irrelevant. 3 bills have been passed today since the suspension of the latest round of MPs. You're basically, the message will go out that because you don't need the opposition numerically, you don't want a diverse point of view to come in. Do you agree with what the government, or rather the chair, in this case the speaker and the chairman, have decided to do?
Well, absolutely, Barkha. First of all, thank you for having me on the show. Barkha, I would like to, at the outset, strongly condemn the act of the opposition MPs outside the parliament, demeaning the chair of the office. It's not only about the chair of Rajya Sabha, but he's the Uprashtrapati of India. He's the Honorable Vice President of India. You don't do it to your father, do you? You don't do it to your father. You don't mock your father like that in your family when you don't agree with some of his actions. So I think that's absolutely rubbish, and that's something which we have to condemn in the strongest way. And I'm feeling sorry why they are not very apologetic about it. You can apologize and they can let go ahead. Number 2, most important, Barkha, why is it irrelevant? The demand is the sense of an opposition. Somebody from the TMC said it's a murder of definition. So by definition, why it is democratic for them? It only be जब उनकी मन की बात चलेगी तो democratic. जब उनकी मन की बात नहीं चलेगी तो ए डेमोक्रेटिक ऐसा नहीं होता है. So you have demanded for a prime minister statement and a home minister statement. We have seen several instances in the last 4.5-5 years, Barkha. When the prime minister speaks, they try to mock, they try to disturb, they try to call names. The whole agenda is they want to create an optics when the prime minister is making, speaking, and let them disturb the house and everything. So we know what kind of. So first of all, when you expect some kind of a gesture from the government, you should kind of create some kind of a trust in the eyes of the government and the system that you are not notorious and you are there to officially ask for a justification. Now, what is this MP doing now, Barkha? 140 MPs. It's very important to understand why now. For the last 4.5 years, they all enjoyed the perks of being member of parliament. They all were there. Nobody was willing to get suspended. Nobody was, coming out and doing all this dharnas or whatever dramas that they're doing outside the parliament.
But don't you think suspension makes parliament redundant? Parliament irrelevant. Don't you think there's a danger? Don't you think there's a danger that parliament will become irrelevant in this way, Anurag?
No, Barkha, I know why. When parliament becomes irrelevant, when some panelists said graveyard of democracy. When was it? It was during the emergency which was imposed. I don't want to go back to the emergency when what Congress did and what previous prime ministers did. All due respect, whatever is done is done. But the point is, in Janta's Darbar, prime ministers or the number in the parliament is a representative or is a representation of your strength and the trust that people of this country impose on you. And the number shows that time and again for last 9 years, it shows that the people of India do not have enough trust on you. And there is a media, let's say Mojo TV today. Mojo as a channel has millions of views. There are other channels that have millions of views. If you are strong enough points to make, like Mr. Manikam Thakur is trying to establish his justification. If people are to believe, they will believe and they will give you better numbers next time. Go out and tell people, parliament is live telecast. Go out and tell people, a very important thing. You said that the debate has to be on the breach of security in the parliament. Why can't Congress explain that the activist who was talking about, unemployment, that lady activist who was caught, she was saying that because of the unemployment, I'm out there in the parliament doing all these things. And Rahul Gandhi said, he justified that, yes, it's because of the unemployment in youth.
Okay.
There are videos surfacing of that activist link with the Congress party going out and campaigning. So we also have the Congress party has to come out and say nobody campaigns.
But then you see the problem is the opposition will say that it's a BJP member of parliament from whose office one of the passes was issued. You will say as a supporter of the government that the opposition that there is a link between those who were protesting and the opposition. This will carry on. I want to come to Riju in just a second. Ashwini ji, आप कुछ कहना चाह रहे थे? Go ahead, Ashwini ji.
जी बरखा जी, देखिए, दो तीन बातें बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। आज जिस तरीके से हल्ला हंगामा मचाया जा रहा है, विपक्ष है, हंगामा करना चाहिए, उनको हर अपनी मांग रखने की चीज है। लेकिन मैं याद दिलाना चाहता हूं कांग्रेस के सदस्यों को, 5 मई 1994 को एक व्यक्ति कूद जाता है उसी संसद में, पुरानी वाली में, उसके खिलाफ कोई कार्रवाई नहीं होती, कहीं प्रोटेस्ट नहीं होता। फिर 24 अगस्त 94 को कूद जाता है दूसरा व्यक्ति उसी में, और इन लोगों को मुकुल वासनिक जी उस समय संसदीय कार्य राज्य मंत्री होते हैं, एक प्रस्ताव पास करके कहते हैं उसने माफी मांग लिया, हम छोड़ देते हैं। माननीय मनमोहन सिंह जी प्रधानमंत्री होते हैं, उनका सुरक्षा गार्ड उनको अपने वेपन के साथ छोड़ने जाता है उनकी सीट तक, उस पर कोई हल्ला हंगामा नहीं होता है। और आज सरकार ने, माननीय लोकसभा के अध्यक्ष ने, जो उसमें जो है कंसोर्टियम है, उन्होंने जांच के आदेश दिए, सबका जो है सारे दलों के से राय लेकर किया कि मजबूत जांच की जाएगी। उसके बाद यूएपीए में जांच हो रही है, और राहुल गांधी जी क्या कह रहे हैं? महंगाई है इस वजह से, जबकि महंगाई 3.2% है, औरतों की, जो महिलाओं की महंगाई 2.9% है। फिर हम इस पर चर्चा करते हैं। वो भी दिन याद रखना चाहिए, 94 का दिन याद रखना चाहिए कि 94 में भी क्या किया गया। तो उस समय इन लोगों ने जांच तक करने की कोशिश नहीं की। क्या वो पार्लियामेंट नहीं था?
मेरा एक सवाल है, I have a question. Without the opposition, should a government be passing a bill to replace the old criminal laws? आपको भी मालूम है आईपीसी को रिप्लेस करने के लिए नए कानून के प्रस्ताव आया। There's a new proposed legislation. I mean, we are passing laws now in India without the opposition present. क्या ऐसा होना चाहिए? आपका जो भी राय हो on the disruption, not disruption, who's responsible, Kalyan Banerjee, I'm only asking you, should laws be passed without the opposition present in the house? अश्विनी जी।
जी बरखा जी, बहुत बढ़िया सवाल है, और ये देश हित का सवाल है। आपने जो पूछा है ये देश हित का सवाल। मैं कहता हूं काश यही सोच हमारे विपक्ष के नेताओं के पास होती, जो एमपीज है। मैंने कहा 18-20 लाख लोगों की नुमाइंदगी करते हैं। ये लॉ अगर पास किया जाएगा, पिछला 4-5 सेशन उठाकर देख लीजिए, कभी पेगासस है तो कभी किसान आंदोलन है, कभी राफेल है, कभी कुछ है। इन लोगों ने सदन की कार्रवाई नहीं चलने दी। तो क्या देश हित के मुद्दे काम नहीं होने चाहिए? देश हित के मुद्दे वहां पर नहीं उठाए जाने चाहिए? जो विसंगतियां हैं कानूनों की, उसको नहीं बदलना चाहिए? तो इस तरीके से विपक्ष का एक एजेंडा है कि सत्ता को काम ना करने दिया जाए। आज अगर ये नहीं रहेंगे तो भी काम होगा, सदन तो चलेगा, देश हित के काम होंगे, और ये लोगों को चाहिए कि उसमें सहयोग करें, और ना कि उन टेररिस्टों का, जो जिनकी जांच हो रही यूएपीए में, उसका समर्थन और बचाव करें।
Okay, those are strong allegations there, and I'm sure Manikam will respond. But first, to let me bring in our Trinamool Congress representative Riju Datta there. You used a very, you made a couple of big statements. You said this is like 1930s Germany. You're in West Bengal. Elections have been fought and won by your party, fair and square, right? So do you think this kind of rhetoric in a way distracts from the substantive part of your argument? Question one. Question two, the BJP and its supporters, two of our panelists have said, Rajnath Singh spoke, the speaker spoke, the parliamentary affairs minister spoke. Why was that not enough? Are you, in a sense, opting out of the important parliamentary debates on issues like the new criminal laws?
Barkha ji, just give me a little courtesy of time. Like Manikam Saab said, that the Delhi police that has miserably failed in his duties is under the purview of the Home Minister. My question is this: the entire opposition collectively, after a terrorist attack in the parliament, has said the Home Minister come and speak about it. Let him come and say 2 minutes. We are doing an inquiry and we will give you the reply in due course of time. Why couldn't he come? There are only two reasons why he cannot come or why he doesn't want to come. Either one is ये बहुमत का आतंक है, And I'm saying this in a language that some people here should understand. ये बहुमत का आतंक है. They think because we have the brute majority, we will do whatever we fancy. But they have forgotten that even Rajiv Gandhi had the same thing. So he lost the election. Who is Mr. Modi's days are numbered anyways. Secondly, the second alternative why he is not coming is because he cannot face the opposition because he knows he has failed in his duties. The Home Minister spoke about this terrorist attack in the parliament to another national media channel on their conclave. The Prime Minister spoke about this terrorist attack on the parliament in some news event. What is stopping these two gentlemen from coming to the parliament and address the opposition as well as the country? If you cannot keep 543 lawmakers who decide the fate of 150 crore Indians safe, what moral right do you have to continue this government, to continue as the ruling party? Somebody said, oh, let me just finish, Barkhaji, just 10 more seconds I'll take from you. Somebody said, is this the way you talk to your father? Let me remind your viewers and the gentlemen that when Pradhan Mantri Modi came to Bengal in 2021 elections, to Mamata Banerjee, the only woman chief minister in the country, he said, Didi or Didi. Is that the way you talk to your mother or your wife or your sister? So practice, people who live in glass houses should not throw stones at others. And last but not the least, the new parliament is another jumla of Modi guarantee. And why I am saying this? Like 2 crore की नौकरी, किसान की आय दुगनी, bullet train चलाएंगे, काला धन वापस लाएंगे, सारा jumla. Nothing has happened. Similarly, Mr. Modi said, this new Central Vista project, this new parliament will be one of the places in the world which is the most secured for our lawmakers. And barely within a year of its opening, with all fanfare, there's a terrorist attack. So I think the least the Home Minister and the Prime Minister should do is take the opposition in confidence, like Atalji used to do. Take the people of this country in confidence. And if you cannot do that, if you cannot keep our lawmakers safe, then
let me get Manikam to add to that. Manikam, where is this headed? There are right now only 3 days left for this session of Parliament. There's going to be a vote on account now, and then we're in elections. So what is the opposition thinking at this point? Because you're outside of Parliament, people like yourself, and the government is passing the laws anyway. So what is the plan? What next from the opposition point of view?
I'd like to take 1 minute to tell to my friend, VJP friend, he was making some this thing that about the previous things, breach of security breaches. They should say any kind of breach, earlier breaches, whether UAPA or TADA or any kind of terrorist acts has been, complaint has been, criminal charges has been framed on those people. No. Any kind of breach earlier was just a breach. Just they jumped into it in 74, this thing. See the this thing. It is the person fall, some Keshav or something who fall. That's the word it is used in the parliament record. Therefore, let us not compare with the previous episodes where the security breaches happened and this issue. Because my BJP friends are very popular in telling about lie like a fact. Therefore, let us make that clear. Second, about this, where we are heading for it. Because Mr. Modi has now, till of now, this 10 years, as largest number of MPs has been suspended. And one of those so-called political analyst, my friend also, was telling about that why this, he's speaking about the perks, MPs. Brother, we are not nominated MPs. We are also elected. There are 15 lakh people who has, in my constituency, 5,75,000 as people who has voted for me. Therefore, let us all have one thing clear, that we are also elected by people. We are 122 people, MPs has been suspended in this 9 years. 122 MPs, leaving this for 146. I had been suspended twice earlier. Before, whenever I raised it for parliament, petrol, diesel, we were 4 of us has been suspended. We raised the CAA issue in the 2020 March, we had been suspended. Therefore, this suspension part is a part of this government. Mr. Modi and Amit Shah are copying the Gujarat Assembly model here. They are not ready to hear a dissent voice. They are not ready to hear a criticism. This is the problem here. Their
Okay, let me pick
mentality
up.
is that they are not practiced with the parliamentary structure here.
Let me
And
pick up
their
the part of your argument that makes an important point. There are 141 members of parliament are also reflecting the will of the people. Many of them, today, Anurag, we did the math, 17% of the Lok Sabha, right, is out. If I'm not wrong, and you can correct me, we can do a quick look at our calculators. It's 17% of the Lok Sabha and 18% of the Rajya Sabha, right? 17% and 18% of the Rajya Sabha. So when you look at the Lok Sabha in particular, these are also, as Manikam Tagore says, people who have won through the electoral process. They have the right and the duty to reflect the voices of the people in the constituency that have voted for them. By suspending them, aren't you losing that voice and therefore interfering with the process of parliamentary democracy? Anurag Naidu.
Well, Barkha, like, with all due respect to the Honorable MP, I agree, yes, a lot of lakhs of people, there are some constituencies that have 18 lakh, 20 lakh voters as well. So it's a lot of people. But let's also understand that this does not give you or the MPs, Honorable MPs, entitlement to do whatever they want to do, go into the well or call names to the chair or call names to the prime minister, start using vulgar language. Barkha, one of the very disturbing things that I saw on the screen when this security breach happened, if you see the activist who have, who was caught by some of the MPs, but the other bystander who were looking at it, they came and started hitting. I mean, I can take names of few MPs who come from my state. I don't want to give, because then again, there'll be a political situation. The gentleman was standing, looking at this activist some MP was holding it. He just came and started trashing the activist. What kind of an optics or what kind of a behavior that you are displaying on the floor of the parliament? So, just because you're elected by people.
No, so I'm confused. Can we actually play the pictures where the MPs got together to beat the intruders? Are you saying you disagree with that? Imagine there's a man that jumps from 15 feet. He's thrown smoke canisters. I thought that was a cross-party moment. You are saying that you do not agree with that?
No, Barkha, once you catch a criminal, what do you do in India? You don't catch a criminal. Let's not have double standard. You don't catch criminal in India and just go and shoot him or kill him. Once you caught him, you have jailed him. There is a procedure. There is investigation that take place. When you have caught him, everything is in your control. But just because you just want the MP standing somewhere else, I mean, I can call the MP a name right now. But he's standing somewhere else. I can see him, leaping over this desk, crossing over the desk, and trying to beat the gentleman. I mean, what kind of a personality or what kind of a thought process?
Well, on the day of the intrusion, those MPs were hailed as heroes, Anurag. And I really wish we had the video, and I think we're trying to pull it up, but we'll have it soon. There it is. These guys were hailed as heroes on that day.
Look at the white dress who came and he's standing some fourth or fifth.
But what is the point? What is the larger point? What is the larger point here?
The point I'm trying to make, Barkha, there is not only this incident. The point I'm trying to make is that in a particular MP, I mean, it's also the kind of language that we use in some debates. There was one particular MP, I don't want to name, who directly said the chair that you are, you're biased and you are being, absolutely to what it was Mr. Venkaiah Naidu's time. And you cannot call the chair what you want. You can't call the prime minister. When prime minister gives you time, or when I'll tell you, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, he got a time to make a point, and it was a very good debate. He came with few photographs and only spoke about Mr. Adani. The debate was not about Mr. Adani. Just because you've given the floor to make some constructive arguments, you cannot drive your own narratives. So when you expect a debate, you come prepared with some points that are particular.
Concluding remarks. I'll start with you, Anurag, because you already have the mic. Just 30-second concluding remarks. How does this get resolved? We cannot have a parliament where the opposition and the government don't talk to each other and bills are being passed without diversity of opinion. The people of India, we the people, deserve this. As people, we deserve a functioning parliament, right? How does this? Who is the onus on to resolve this? Anurag, last comment.
I think right now the first onus lies with the opposition. First, they apologize to the chair of the Rajya Sabha. They go and talk to the chair, not doing the dharnas or hangama. Go and talk, go to representation, plead. You can request, and I think things will work out. I strongly believe.
Okay, let me bring in Manikam Tagore. Manikam Tagore, today your party has doubled down in a sense on personally targeting the Prime Minister. On the Twitter handle of the Congress party, the Prime Minister was called Darpok, right? Is this helping matters? There it is, the one who fears Darpok Raja. Is this helping matters, Manikam?
You have to understand that the Prime Minister is not ready to allow the opposition in the parliament itself. He is under his instruction only. The Minister for Parliamentary Affairs is coming every day with a list of 40 people, like a laundry list. Every day they are throwing about the parliamentarians. People are watching. People of India are watching. People will punish these kind of things. We had been. People are saying, my BJP friends is saying that we had won 2 times. This I am speaking. I am from a party which has won 10 times, brother. This arrogance is also in this party. Whenever whomever has been arrogant, they had been defeated by people of India. Let us understand that this kind of arrogance will be defeated by people of India, because people of India are watching. You can't divide people and divert. Usually the political analyst also is saying about all other stories about previous debates and others, Adani, all story and others. Because when we speak about Adani, they will get some other traction here. The problem is, in Parliament, the word Adani is not allowed. Whenever we said about Adani, the word the expenditure will be happening. Because what is that in that much about Adani?
Okay.
We are not heard
Okay,
about
I want to know
any
what
business
happens.
name.
Okay, I hear you, Kiran. I beg your pardon. Riju Datta, let's bring you in. Riju, just last thoughts. What next? What next for the opposition? And then I'll give Ashwini. I'll actually let me get Ashwini Shahi, because we just heard from the Congress, and then I'll come to you. Ashwini ji. Ashwini ji.
देखिए देखिए बरखा जी, अभी हमारे कांग्रेस के मित्र जो उन्होंने पहले कहा, उन्होंने कहा कि वो पहले जो हुआ था वो फॉल था। फॉल और जंप में बड़ा फर्क होता है। प्रेमपाल सम्राट कूदा था, और ये आप पार्लियामेंटेरियन है, एमपी है, आप जाकर देखिए वहां पर जो किताब है, वहां पर संकलन है, उस पर रखा हुआ है। वहां पर हमने वो सोर्स वहीं से निकाला है। और दूसरा, मनमोहन त्रिपाठी या पांडे कुछ करके थे, 2 लोग, और नारा भी लगा था। तो फॉल में नारा नहीं लगता है, फॉल में चिल्लाता है आदमी कि हम गिर गए। तीसरी बात, आज अभी जो जिस तरीके की बात हो रही है, जनता ने बार बार इस कृत्य को देखा है कि अपोजिशन क्या कर रहा है। चाहे अडानी का नाम ले रहे हैं, चाहे वो राफेल का नाम ले रहे हैं, सब में जनता का विश्वास और भरोसा विरोधी दलों से उठता हुआ भारतीय जनता पार्टी के ऊपर आता जा रहा है। तो जो सीट आज माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा है जो खाली है, वो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के सांसदों द्वारा भरी जाएगी, न कि विपक्ष के द्वारा। जनता ने इतना तय कर लिया है, और जनता समझदार है। जनता को बेवकूफ नहीं आप लोग बना सकते। जनता मालिक है। 18 लाख 20 लाख लोगों की नुमाइंदगी करने वाले आप लोग आज जिस तरीके से उनके मुद्दों को नहीं उठा रहे हैं सदन में, और बाहर आकर मिमिक्री कर रहे हैं, जनता इसका भी सजा देगी। और चुनाव आने वाला है, भारतीय जनता पार्टी को अपना आशीर्वाद देकर और मजबूत बनाएगी, और कांग्रेस को रसातल में भेजेगी। और हमको लग रहा है कि राहुल गांधी जी फिर कहीं वीडियो बनाते हुए किसी शादी विवाह और फंक्शन में ही नजर आएंगे। जी।
Riju, last word to you. Prahlad, we have the Parliamentary Affairs Minister who is basically demanding Prahlad Joshi ji an apology now, not just from Kalyan Banerjee, but also from Rahul Gandhi. This issue has taken over, as it were, in at least in sections of the media, the headlines of the suspension. What next? What is the opposition strategy going to be? Quickly, last word.
Barkha, 2 points, and I'll make it very quick. Point number 1, someone should ask the person sitting on the constitutional chair who's so offended by this unparliamentary act, that why did he in the afternoon, and you know, Barkha, what I'm talking about, call up journalists, or his office call up journalists to change the narrative of the story? Why? Was that a very parliamentary thing to do? So first, the gentleman should answer. Second, the BJP has been trying very hard to change the goalpost, change the narrative, take the attention away from the terrorist attack that happened in the parliament, so that they can breed, they can, play their own drums, and they can make a mockery out of the people of this country. 6 months is left for the Lok Sabha elections, the general elections. The people of this country, like everybody here on this panel will agree, is the ultimate, and the people of India are watching everything very closely. They're seeing what is happening on the ground, inside the parliament, outside the parliament, and they'll take a call. And I'm sure Narendra Modi will not be the Prime Minister of India come 2024.
Okay, now that is for the people and all of you to fight in the electoral battlefield. A reference has been made repeatedly to an incident that took place in 1994. We decided to look up the archives, and I just wanted to tell our audience what Ashwini ji and Manikam were arguing over. On 5th of May 1994, a visitor calling himself Prem Pal Singh Samrat jumped from the visitors' gallery into the chambers of the Lok Sabha and attempted to shout slogans. The deputy speaker informed the House. This happened around 11:20 a.m. So on it goes. The man was immediately taken into custody. The House was informed that the man had made a statement and expressed regret for his action. Subsequently, the Parliamentary Affairs Minister Mukul Vasnik moved a motion saying the House resolves that the person calling himself Prempal Singh Samrat has committed a grave offence and is guilty of the contempt of the House. However, the motion also stated that Samrat be let off with a stern warning on the rising of the House today. Then we had a similar incident happen in 1994. So I just wanted to place that in perspective. That is what we are able to pull out from the records. I think what the people of India would have expected at this point was for the government and the opposition to stand together, to stand on one side, to actually show sobriety, to actually hear from the topmost leaders of government, but also have the opposition participate in that without, this breakdown is not good for our democracy. It is not good for our legislative process. And I think that is something, irrespective of who we are, who we vote for, what our opinions are, we can agree on. We'll leave this debate for now and we'll see what happens in Parliament in the remaining 48 to 72 hours. Thank you very much, Manikam Tagore, to Ashwini Shahiji, to Riju Datta, and to Anurag Naidu, and to our audience. Thank you and see you soon. Mojo Story has always made a commitment to its viewers to go to where the story is. And as you can see here, we are at the epicenter of the Israel war on Gaza. We are right at the front line, about 1 mile from the Gaza Strip, as the Israeli military gets ready with its tanks and its gunners to begin its final frontal assault that will take troops into Gaza. As we said, we are not like other organizations. We believe in giving you all sides of the story objectively and as much as possible from the ground. And that's exactly what we're doing here, covering the biggest global story today from the epicenter of the war zone. So please, we need your support. Support us, become a Mojo member, subscribe to us, spread the word, and thank you for your support.